Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well. It's your main man Anil coming back once again for Inner Line Fitness Podcast, episode number 11 of 2026. And today we're going to be covering how to develop a warrior mindset and to train with perseverance to unleash your inner line. So let's dive right in, guys. Guys, we're coming up to June, and by now, I'm sure you're very clear on what your weight loss goals are. Perhaps you've hit a bit of a stumbling block right now going towards your weight loss goals. Perhaps you've encountered a little bit of resistance, and perhaps right now you're feeling a little bit discouraged. But what I want to tell you guys is that right now is not the time to be ashamed. Right now is not the time to train from that low, disempowering emotion of shame. Any fitness influencer who says that you should be ashamed and train from shame, that's the wrong approach. Over here, Inner Line Fitness, I help men awaken their inner line to go from the man that they were to the man that they were meant to be with resilience, accountability, strength, confidence, self belief, determination, and perseverance. Over here, Inner Line Fitness, I'm going to help you to train from a place of perseverance to push through that pain, to turn your pain into purpose, because on the other side of pain, there is a better version of you. On the other side of the mountain, you're going to become the best version of yourself. And in order to reach that goal, you've got to vibrate at that high level and that high frequency to become the best version of yourself. You see, with fitness, it all starts out with the mindset. Perhaps right now you've gone through a traumatic situation, or you're just run down by life, or you're frustrated by just what you're not seeing in terms of your progress. And perhaps you're in cycles of quitting. Perhaps right now you're wanting to stand up for yourself. Maybe you're wanting to build discipline and you just don't know how. Well, over here in Align Fitness, I help men go from being ashamed, overweight, and lost to being disciplined, powerful, and confident through the values of resilience, strength, belief, determination, and everything that's going to help you to get yourself back in shape. And this is exactly why I'm saying it, guys. I have a story for you that I want to share. Right before I started Inner Line Fitness, and as soon as COVID happened, everybody went into lockdown and everybody had negative effects to their life and to their mental health. And one day, when that happened, I just felt really, really low. I was very depressed. And in that depressed state, I just kept comfort eating every day, cookies and tea, cookies and tea, cookies and tea. And I let that situation of not being able to go outside and feeling like I'd had lost everything and feeling like I was in the lowest place of my life take over. And I just kept comfort eating to 4 or 5 days. But it was at that point where I had to make a decision. Either I could succumb to this lockdown and feel like I lost everything, or I could walk through that fire and actually come out the other side and become stronger and push through that pain threshold. And I tell you what I did. I put down those cookies, I threw them away, and I got into action. They said we couldn't go into the gyms. Well, I tell you what I did. I went outside and I ran 700 laps every single morning. Pain, sweat, tears didn't matter if I had to cry, if I was upset. I did that to change my state. I said, if we can't go outside, if we can't connect with people, I'm going to have that same feeling of what I used to get in a gym, but I'm going to run around the garden and let all these negative emotions swirl, let them out, and rebuild myself. And as painful and tough that was, I channeled the inner Rocky. And that's exactly where my business began. It began from me making that decision that I was going to be a leader in a time where a lot of people needed it. And I pushed through that pain and that perseverance. And I show you this vulnerability to show you that it's okay sometimes not to be okay. But at the same time, I know that if you're watching this podcast, you want better for yourself. You want to be able to develop that warrior mindset to take yourself from where you are right now, not reaching your weight loss goals, not on your ideal path to getting to your dream body, to where you do want to go, where you attain that. How you attain and manifest that is through identity transformation. We've got to take you from that low state of shame to the highest vibration of confidence, belief, certainty that you can make it, growth. It's from those places of resilience and perseverance where you're going to lose weight and keep the weight off and be the best version of yourself and now have the energies to go after every single thing that you want from your life. You see, right now, you may be using shame because of all the mistakes that you made in the past. But I want you to think about this when you were younger. When you did something wrong and somebody used shame to reprimand you, were you at that point motivated to do better next time? Were you at that point saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to learn from this"? If somebody kept reminding you, you weren't. You were discouraged and you withdrew, because that's the nature of shame. When you constantly remind yourself of how bad you are, that's all you feel. And we got to take you away from shame, because shame is the one thing that drags you down. Guilt is the one thing that drags you down. You can't change your past. You can't wait for a New Year's resolution. The time is now. There is no perfect time to get back in shape. You just have to get on your training shoes. You just have to start small. And I understand right now it may be difficult, but if you need somebody to coach you through that path, if you need somebody who's been through the fire and knows what it's like to be overweight, but then to come out of it and to get to the other side, you can now work with me over here in Align Fitness. I'm a weight loss coach, a fitness coach for men who are looking to rebuild their confidence. You see, guys, this is why I do it. I do this to serve at the highest level. I do this to help people. You see, you don't know what the future holds, but the way that we visualize and manifest and the way that we wire ourselves will determine how we move forward. So if we keep on replaying the same story over and over again, if we keep on having the same emotions over and over again, we will manifest that negative outcome every single time. If you work on yourself, meditate, take down your limiting beliefs, do the inner work and do the outer work, and take note of the small actions you're taking and build momentum, you will start to see a positive outcome, a positive change in your energy and in the physical manifestation of your life. That is how it works. That's how manifesting your goals and your weight loss works. When you take those positive manifestations and you visualize it internally, you then take the actions to make it happen in the real world, and it becomes it. So right now we have a decision to make, young and grown men. Do you want to now visualize your ideal state and make that happen? Or do you want to keep on this negative path of quitting, not believing in yourself, and not knowing the way? If you're ready to now go on the right path and to unleash that inner lion that I know is inside of you, DM me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Inner Lion Fitness. I have now launched the Inner Lion Philosophy, the Write Your New Story course. I've now priced this at £79 per month. If you're interested, DM me and DM me Lion.